decisions, great mound visits, great job not letting the best player beat you.
This one crushed, out to right field. And it's going to be out of here. Pennsylvania walk-off home run. Travis Gavonic sends him to Williamsport.
With the 37th pick of the 2023 MLB Draft, the Detroit Tigers select Kevin McGonigal, a shortstop from Monsignor Bonner High School, Drexel Hill, Pennsylvania.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Bryce Harper. Suarez delivers. Swing and a drive. Left field. It's deep. It's gone. Yes! And it is gone!
Yes!
It is bedlam at the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, his 10th career home run in the postseason. And he may never hit a bigger one.
What is up, Delaware County? And welcome back for episode number 51 of Delco Baseball Now. He's Ben Thorpe. I'm Brendan Ricciardi. And Ben, we actually have games to talk about.
Yes, sir.
How exciting is that?
It is incredible. It's just a great feeling.
I mean, all we've done all offseason is kind of previews and just almost make up shit to talk about.
Yep,
but now we got stuff to talk about. We also have the guys from Malvern Prep coming in studio. We got Tague Davis, Andrew Pellicciotta, and Brady Abate. We also have head coach Freddy Hilliard, Delco.
Yes, sir.
Delco guy right there. So stay tuned for that in a little bit. But before we talk about that interview, we got to talk about these games that have happened this week. So we'll start off. We have some real games here. The Haverford School on Tuesday started off with their second consecutive no-hitter. This one, the Germantown Friends one, I think it was like 5 innings. Yeah. They kind of beat up on them a bit. But Friends Central, that was a 4-0 win against a team that made the playoffs last year.
Yeah, it's just I think we kind of were talking about the Haverford pitching staff or the Haverford School pitching staff all year, kind of coming in, and they've just flexed their muscles immediately. They're gonna be a tough nut to crack for pretty much anyone.
Yeah, Ian White Jr., East Carolina commit. He had 4 perfect innings with 6 Ks. Connor Haney had 2 innings with a strikeout, and the most interesting man in Delco baseball, Fred Jordan, closed it out for that win. But the real action came on Friday because there was a whole slate of mostly non-league games. Mm-hmm. But we'll start off with our first conference game coming from the Central League. We had a 6-2 Pencrest win over Radnor. We were at this game. Very emotional game.
Yeah, there's both sides are fired up. I mean, it's the first. Was that the first in-league game we've had in Delco? I think that is, right?
I think in any league, yeah.
Yeah, so
definitely.
I mean, you could tell everyone was really excited to get out there, get going, and both teams were very fired up. It was a chippy game.
It was. Shout out the Radnor fan section for for making their presence felt.
All 4 of them.
All 4. Listen, the vocal minority.
Small but mighty.
Well, it's one of the things where going to the games will tell you stuff that Game Changer won't. Mm. And a big part of that game was Pencrest, Gavin Brown, and the Radnor section going back and forth. Yeah. I think Gavin got the last laugh in this game.
Yeah, that was unfortunately for the Radnor students there. He did got a little double off the wall that. Kind of, more or less.
That iced the game. Yeah. So Gavin threw the first 4 innings, hit 88 on the gun, and then hit a 2-run double later in the game. We also had Josh Kalinowski threw 3 shutout innings to close it out. Big day from Nico Tazi. He had 2 big knocks, a couple RBIs. David Miser, 2 hits. And Ben Pannoni, brother of our old Upper Darby Blue Sox teammate, Matt Pannoni, ripped a couple of hits as well. Pencrest looked good.
Yeah, they look very good. I think that when we were talking about yesterday, They look like they're going to compete. They look like they're going to be in the mix. I think there's still a couple of teams clearly at the top of the Central League, but they look like they're going to be in the mix with kind of the rest of the teams that are going to be fighting for a playoff spot.
And it's cool to see that the lineup is so deep that they have a Division I commit in the 9-hole. And that second leadoff guy, Sam Dinitz, committed to Mount St. Mary's. And Ben Pannoni's down at the bottom of that order, 2 knocks. They seem like a very well-rounded lineup. Mm-hmm. Like they might not have any Division I superstar individual guys that are hitting 488 with 9 homers, but they seem like a team that's going to kind of just pass the baton down.
Yeah, that 1 through 9, there's nothing easy there. That's for sure.
Yeah, Nico Tazi, of course, we play against his brother Roman, the Delco League. They're I shouldn't say both committed. Roman's at Catholic. Nico will be there as well. Love him in the leadoff spot.
Yeah,
he seemed like he gave a lot of good at-bats.
Just like a perfect leadoff hitter, really just a lot of contact. and just speed, everything.
So
solid player.
On the Radnor side, Austin Havertine. Hey, listen, sophomore hitting 87. He's got a very bright future. Got hit around a little later in like his start, but first start of the year, he looked very good in the first couple of innings, and I think they have to be pretty optimistic about him.
Yeah, he looks sharp. I think he's going to really step into that ace role and give them a lot of competitive starts this year. Definitely, he threw a lot of pitches, and towards the end, I mean, it's your first start. You kind of get up there in pitch count. It looked like he ran out of gas maybe a little bit, and that maybe third-ish time through the lineup, the Pencrest guys started seeing it a little better. But overall, for a sophomore, I thought he was really impressive on the mound.
Yeah, and Zach Fien. It could be Fien, it could be Fine. What do you think? F-E-I-N. I'm going Fine.
I'm going Fine as well.
You think so?
Yeah.
Isn't there a Travis Scott song called that?
It's
or is it Fiend?
It's Fiend.
So don't you think it should be Fiend then? Or how's it spelled? Is it I-E-N?
It's spelled the same, but it's... Well, the song's in all caps, and Playboy Cardi yells it, so I'm not going to take.
All right.
I'm not going to take anything on that.
I'll have to do some research on that.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, the Radnor couldn't really get the bats going, but Pencrest threw their 1 and 2 back-to-back, knowing that they weren't going to play another Central League game for a little while, so they got to do that. But yeah, very, very encouraging showing from Pencrest. Let's move on to the most interesting game of the week. The Haverford School, who was ranked number 2 on our rankings, against Garnet Valley, who's number 8. That was a 12-12 game. There were, in the final 2 innings alone, there were 12 total runs scored. It was 7-5 Haverford going to the 6th. Garnet tied it. Haverford scored 2 to go ahead, 9-7. Mark Zupo hit a 3-run shot to make it a Garnet Valley, I believe at the time, I think it was 11-9 or 12-9. Then Haverford tied it at 12.
Jeez, man. That was just a slugfest. It's, we've been kind of saying that Garnet loss is going to be impressive this year. I think that was kind of their first step towards proving that.
Yeah, very well-rounded. Mark Zupo Cole Lombardo also homered in that game along with Mark Zupo. Chris Shaler drove in 3 runs along with Zupo as well. Harrison Mall, Eddie Swerdanevich, Nolan Carroll, 2 hits on the day. Pretty exciting for that. From the Haverford side, Connor Scanlon, 3 for 4 with a homer. He's committed to Fairfield. Noah Trexler, 2 for 3. He had knocked in 3 runs. And Thomas Lawler's a freshman. He had 2 knocks. He was starting behind the plate. His brother Zach was in our Ascent video. He was the one in the championship against O'Connor. So yeah, that's a great offensive showing there. Great if you bet the over in the official Delco Baseball Now sportsbook.
Yeah, we'll get that up and running.
Yeah, we just have to go through some legal battles.
That might just be under the table in cash.
Hey, listen, I won't tell if you don't tell, right?
Yeah, we're gonna need an enforcer though to make sure we get paid.
Verbitsky, he's a big dude.
Yeah,
we could get him to to hunt anybody down if we need to. All right, let's move on to the next game. I would personally say that I think this was the most impressive showing by any team that we cover this whole week. Conestoga 4, Downingtown East 2. Not only did they beat them, they only let up 1 hit to a very good Downingtown East team. Yeah,
that's a team in 6A that really competes in the District 1. And I think Stoga really, we had a couple question marks about them, especially on both ends. But I think they showed themselves to be a more than capable team. I mean, Jake Friel, he was a guy that we've been talking about. It looks like he's off to a really good start. He's just nasty in what we've seen.
Yeah, Sacred Heart commit, lefty with a little wonky angle.
Just coming from here.
Yeah, Henry Melrose also 3. I don't know if it's perfect innings, but I don't see any hits or earned runs, so that's a good start on there. And it's hard because they're without their starting catcher, James Queasy as well. He's hurt right now. JP Tinnany, I think we talked about him as a JV guy going up to varsity, I think, in our preview episode. Tyler Phillips, James Matzinger both drove in runs as well. So very good performance from
good to see those guys stepping up.
Yeah, for a team that is trying to replace a lot of seniors that graduated, and also having James hurt is a very encouraging sign for them. All right, let's move on to another slugfest here. We had Delco Christian and Upper Darby. That was Delco Christian 11, Upper Darby 9. Sam Dixon was the star of the game for the Knights. He drove in 3 runs, also threw 3 shutout innings. The Knights got out to a hot start. They scored 5 in the first inning, and that's a very impressive win. I know Upper Darby lost a lot of guys, but for a 1A team to beat a 6A team in anything.
That's a big time. That's a big win for them, especially for I feel like with Delco Christian, it's been them and Doc kind of I guess there's someone else recently, but typically it's been them and Doc a lot, and so being able to beat a 6A team like Upper Darby that probably gets in thousands of more kids.
Yeah,
per grade.
I'm looking up now because I'm curious who else is even in District 1A. So Faith Christian is the team that Doc beat in the championship. Jenkintown He's also up there. Delco Christian was the 4, and Doc was the 1 there. So
that makes sense.
Do we even have, let's see, do we have any 2As? We have Church Farm, Calvary Christian were the only 2 teams in District 1 2A.
Oh, wow.
I don't even think we have a 3A. No, we don't.
No.
Yeah, I mean, all of our Delco teams are 4 and 5. I think. I'm sorry, 5 and 6. All of our
we
Delco.
got a couple.
I don't think we have any 4s
Is
anymore.
Carroll not 4?
They're not District 1.
Oh, shit.
They're 12, yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, District 1 4A is like PJP, Holy Ghost.
Yeah,
It used to be 5A.
that's not.
Yeah, I think the last one, I think Interborough might have been a 4A and move up. Like somebody.
Yeah, it's all
up.
5 and 6A now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
A couple other game results from Friday night that we don't need to dive too much into because it didn't go well for the Delco sides. Harridan lost 10-1 to Great Valley. Chichester lost 10-2 to Unionville, and Haverford lost 7-2 to Ruston. I will say, though, for Haverford, that's not a terrible loss to a good Ruston team.
Yeah.
Shout out Will Tamar, hit a 2-run shot.
We are.
Misericordia commit. I know Jake McDonough also homered against Shanahan in, I think it was a scrimmage. So the Miz guys are showing out.
Flexing the muscle.
Well, quick shout out to that Jake McDonough homer. I had never seen anyone in a game go dead center at Haven. I've never seen it before.
I don't think I've ever seen it either. Sam Milligan came really close last year against Ruston.
It's usually left.
Yeah, that ended up being like a ground rule double, but yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anyone put one out there.
In person, I've only ever seen one homer to right, which was Peichel, actually. He's a PO now. But yeah, no, it's good for the Misericordia boys here. Nice. All right, with that being said, we have a very exciting interview for you guys today. We got the 2023 PAISAA State Champions. We got Andrew Pellicciotta, Tague Davis, Brady Abate from the Malvern Prep Friars. We also have head coach Freddy Hilliard. So let's welcome on these guys. All right, we are now joined by our guys from Malvern Prep. We got Andrew Pellicciotta, Tague Davis, and Brady Abate. Gentlemen, welcome to the program. How you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. So usually we start off asking about how the offseason's gone, but you guys have already got to get on the field a little bit. So how you guys played Strathaven, the scrimmage. Anybody else besides the inter-squad? Or?
Yeah, we played Strathaven, Newman Gretty, and Great Valley.
How's it going so far?
3-0. 3-0 there. Yeah, we've been playing well.
Getting a lot of guys work?
Oh, yeah, we had a little inter-squad today, so that went well. Yeah.
I heard a rumor that you were on the winning team and these two were not.
That's it, yeah. Yeah, they got to clean up the locker rooms. That was their punishment.
Yeah. No, they should never be getting dirty in the first place, right? These locker rooms?
Unreal.
So word on the street is you guys are getting a new turf field. When's that going to be expected, and like how excited are you guys to get out on that?
I think expected like April 9th maybe.
Oh, wow, like so this year.
Yeah, kind of soon, but I think like people around, they said maybe by the end of Florida. So hopefully we'll be when we get back, it'll be done. Then we'll be able to play on it.
So all road games until then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we playing any at Glen Mills? No. Yeah. So all road games. Yep.
It sounds like a lot of home games to end the year, though. To me.
That was nice.
Yeah, all right. Let's talk a little bit about last season here. So you guys got back into the PAISAA State Championship. You guys brought it home this year. Just talk about that win over the Perkiomen School and how you guys were able to get it done.
Yeah, I mean that was a great game. We had our guy Charlie on the mound. I thought he pitched really well. We were able to get some runs in early, a few, and then I mean Charlie just kept throwing it for us and we hit his back. So
yeah, I mean. It was just a fun game. Like, we enjoyed it for sure. It was kind of like the first time. Like, I mean, I was a junior at the time, but he was a freshman. He was a sophomore. So it was kind of like the first time we were, like, in that kind of environment, that hostile environment. I mean, fans were chirping. It was great. I mean, we kind of just soaked it all in. When we took home the Vic, I mean, it was just nothing but love. It was fun.
Yeah, I mean, we played really well as a team. Like, a lot of people there. Probably one of the biggest games I've played in so far in my life, which like was really fun. And then our team had a lot. Like, we had a lot of energy, which like throughout the game, like it started once we got there, energy going crazy all game. So I think that's what helped us win.
Where was it at?
Villanova.
Oh, that's good. That's
nice.
That's a good place to have it. Yeah. No, I know the coach will get on this, but I assume you guys are on the same boat that the Interact should have playoffs, right?
100%. Yeah.
I just think I wrote it in the preview. I'm like, you can't just end it in a tie.
Yeah.
You know, and one thing that I also said in the article was if you want to just give it to an outright winner of the regular season, that's okay. But if it's a tie, you gotta play the game, to be able to decide it, because you guys split with them in the regular season, right?
Right.
Chestnut Hill, yeah.
Yeah. And just to be able to settle all differences, you can have all of your rotation ready by the start of the state playoffs. Like, I don't know, just feels like something's missing there.
Yeah, for sure. That goes for a lot of the sports too.
Yeah, I know you're a football guy as well. Mm. All right, so I guess this question is really only for Tate since you guys are younger. But how did that loss to Haverford the year before kind of fuel you guys to get back there?
That loss to Haverford sucked, say the least. But we always have a target on our backs. We don't really look at it as we always take it as a challenge, and we always we love to rise up to the occasion. So, coming into last year, bottom line is we had to compete, and just when it came to that time where we got to the championship, we knew it was time to bring it home. Just feeling that plaque again, putting that on the wall, nothing better.
So you guys are going down to Florida soon for a little spring training action. Do you have any idea who you're playing and maybe any kind of scouting report, or just going in blind?
I think our schedule came out for Florida, but that's kind of all really we know, because it's mostly teams from not really around us, so just a bunch of teams from all over. So we don't really have too much of a scouting report on them, I don't think. But other than that, yeah.
Where are you guys going down, by the way?
It's Fort Pierce.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I hope you're not doing what we did for Penn State Club and taking a bus down. That was I hope not. Yeah, that was 20 hours in a bus.
The bus down to Florida is
it's a humbling experience.
An experience there,
yeah, you make the rookies do I'm sorry, don't make the rookies, wink wink, do a karaoke show. But yeah, that's what we had. No, people enjoy it overall. But how long are you guys there for?
4 days, 5 days.
4 or 5 days, yeah.
6
days.
6 days,
There we go.
There it is.
All right, so real quick, just wanted to go back to last year. You guys had a big senior class graduate. You mentioned guys like Charlie, Cam Markham, Delco guy Tim Dickinson, of course. So what did that class kind of just mean to the program, and how do you guys plan on making up for them on the field, but as well as just kind of the leadership aspect?
Yeah, they had huge impacts both in the locker room and on the field. That class had some of the best leaders I've ever been on a team with, and then obviously guys like Charlie, Tim, Trey, countless dudes in that class that contributed so much to our success. So they're definitely hard to replace, but we have Tague's class, so they're doing a great job.
Thanks, man.
It's wholesome.
Yeah. Coming in last year is my first year. I didn't really know anyone. Even towards the beginning of the season, I didn't really know anybody. So they kind of just welcomed me in, and I wasn't really too comfortable, but within a week I was I was friends with everybody, talking to everybody. So, they had a huge impact on me, just showing me around, showing me what to do, and just helping me out there. So. Were
you the only freshman on varsity last year?
Yeah, and then towards the end of the year, we had a pitcher, Jack Irvine. He was on the team for the last 2 games.
So how does that feel for you to kind of come in? I wouldn't say necessarily expectations, but kind of having that almost pressure of being the only freshman. Did you feel you kind of had to prove you belong, or did they just kind of make you feel comfortable and let you just do your thing?
They definitely made me feel comfortable. And towards the beginning I felt maybe kind of had to prove something, but they showed me I really didn't, and they welcomed me in, made me comfortable, so I didn't really have any pressure on my back, and I knew if I wasn't doing good, if I was doing good, they were always going to have my back. So
this guy's got a great radio voice here. I love it. Very sure. Soothing, and a little late night drive music.
I
love it.
Thank you.
You got a job here if you want it.
Get a little late night show.
The quiet hour, yeah.
So looking ahead to this year, outside of the 3 of you here, who are maybe returning guys or new guys that we should keep an eye out for?
You got it.
Pitching wise or hitting, I think pitching we have a bunch of dudes that we were excited to see. Jack Irvine I mentioned, Willow Shell, DJ Peterson. There's a bunch more, but those are probably top guys, and I'm really excited to see how they do this year. I know we had an inter-squad game. They all pitched today. They all threw really well. So I'm just excited to see how they pitch against live in season. So
as far as positional players, new guys, we have Chase Ecker, who's my class, who's an outfielder. He's looking to make a big impact this year. He looks good. Jackson Malconian, he's gonna be he's a sophomore, middle infielder. I actually played with him like throughout my whole youth, so it'll be good to play with him. And then we have Owen Hammond, and then returning. I mean, we have Tague, Grant Kennedy, John Holt, Mason Clark. Like, I mean,
Grant was out most of last year, right?
Yeah.
It's gotta be cool for him to finally be able to get back on the field after he tore his ACL, right?
It was a hamstring.
Hamstring.
Oh, wow.
Hamstring. Gotcha.
Yep.
All right. So you mentioned. So who you said? Which guy did you say you grew up playing with?
Jackson Malconian.
So one of the questions I had was about team chemistry, because like when we have a lot of the public school guys on, they've been kind of like all playing together their whole life.
Yeah.
Do you feel like when you come to Malvern, it kind of takes a little bit for you guys to all gel together, or just do you kind of just all feel at home naturally?
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, one of the key components of our school is brotherhood, because it's an all boys school. But I would say, you know, if there's a new guy on the team or a returning guy or a vet, like, we just all kind of just form into one. And it's just, we take that brotherhood aspect into play big time. It really doesn't take us a while to, you know, try to force any kind of, like, friendships or anything. It just all kind of comes natural, which I love about, you know, Malvern baseball. So, I mean, we just cling right away and have the chemistry on and off the field. You know, it's great.
I'm sure winning helps the culture a little bit too.
Yeah, of course.
There are times where, you know, you need to, like some teams, like you start off slow and then like once you start winning, you kind of start winning together and you get that confidence up. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yep. So what do you guys have to say about Coach Hilliard and, you know, what he's meant to you guys, the program?
He's definitely not sitting right there listening either.
Say what you want to say.
No, I mean, I think definitely Coach Hilliard and the rest of the staff is like massively contributes to our success. Like, I think what separates us from a lot of programs is the practice plans we have and like the resources and knowledge we have, like with people surrounding our program. So yeah, like we work super efficiently in practice, and I think that contributes a lot to on the field. They get us right mentally and physically. So
Yeah, we try to make everything game-like. I mean, we're facing these pitching machines that got them cranked up all the way 10, throwing Scherzer sliders, friggin' opening week. So, I mean, we practice and we try to make it like a game. Just that leadership that comes in from coach and all the coaches around, you know, kind of flushes into, you know, the leaders on the team, and it just builds the culture. So, overall, I mean, leadership is key in this program.
Yeah, I mean, I think like our whole coaching staff, like they're not really like afraid to get on you. Like they want to coach you, they want to help you. So with him, I think he really just isn't afraid to like tell you like what you're doing wrong. He'll help you out. Yeah.
So when we have guys, was that?
I said they kind of put it spot on. They kind of said it all, but
yeah. So when we have guys on, you know, that go to a private school, we like to ask them like what made them want to choose there. Tague, I'm guessing from the day you were born, you were probably going to Malvern regardless because your dad, right? Did you even have a say in the matter?
I had no say.
Yeah. Well, how cool is it to be able to, you know, both follow in his footsteps, but also be able to create your own legacy for the same program?
Yeah, I mean, there's always a good balance. You know, I always want to play the way he did. You know, he always gave me a great example of how to play the game, but he also gives me good insight of I'm not the same player he was, and just make myself be different than he was and play the way I play. But like, it's not. I'm trying to put this. So he's a mentor. He's a baseball guy. You know, he's a coach to me, but he's also a good dad. Like, he just, you know, we'll go fish on the weekends. We'll go hitting on the weekends. Like, there's just a good balance. And when it comes into baseball, you know, if I go for 4 with 4 Ks, it's like, all right, we'll get him next time. If I hit a homer or two, it'd be like, all right, you got another game. Like, it's so not too high, not too low, and it just gives me a good leadway into the games I play next. So just a good example overall.
It's good to have that balance.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
he can keep you humble but give you confidence both at the same time there. Yeah.
Exactly.
So where would you have gone if you didn't go to Malvern?
I'd be at Great Valley High School.
So you're not too far from Malvern at all.
Yeah, I live like 5 minutes away.
Are you
right in the borough?
There can't be too many people actually from Malvern on the team, right?
I mean, yeah, there's like a few guys. I mean,
kind of all over.
DJ
Peterson.
Yeah.
He's Great Valley.
No, from Malvern.
Oh yeah, he lives in Malvern as well.
So what was ultimately kind of the deciding factor for you to come here?
So yeah, like I first found out about Malvern. I used to bike to the games all the time because I live right there. So I mean that was when I first like experienced it. And then I knew it was something I wanted to do because like how successful the program is and how elite these players are, and that is what I knew I wanted to be. So yeah, come freshman, come 8th grade year, I applied. And
is Malvern how young does it go? Is it 8th grade does it
6th
start?
green.
Really? I don't know many people that went there for middle school. I don't think. I feel like most people I knew, like Billy Corcoran, and like was Newell middle school here as well? No, it's probably Paxton Hollow, right? Yeah, I think it would have gone to Marple. And Brady, would you have gone to Marple?
Yeah, that would be my public school.
Yeah. That's do you guys play them this year? No. That'll be a fun game. I'm excited for when you guys play Bonner. I think that'll be cool. I know you guys played them last year too, right?
Yeah.
Is it at the new turf or is it at Bonner? Oh, that's cool. I know it was at Bonner last year. Yeah.
Yeah,
that'll be cool. That'll be like a good way for the Delco Baseball world to find out about the turf field. Same when you play like Haverford in the EA as well.
So I would say it's pretty widely regarded. The Interact's considered the best baseball league in Pennsylvania. How does it feel playing in that kind of getting to compete against those kind of teams week in, week out?
I think it's a lot of fun because you see a lot like I hit so a lot of great arms. Like it's fun to compete, and obviously like we have a history of being really good, so everyone gives us their A game. So it's just really fun to go out there and compete with my teammates.
Yeah, I mean definitely the competition. There's always competition. We rarely like smoke teams in that league. I'm not saying we don't, but like there's always a good competition, and you always see great arms and good hitters. So
you can't take any game off. You know, I had a friend who played at EA. He once told me he's like every game the Interact's a playoff game. You know, like every regular season game just feels like it when you only play them twice. And obviously we were talking about the playoff format before we recorded, but I feel like it's just a conference that has so much pride that like seeing two banners at two different schools like for the same year just like it doesn't sit right.
Yeah, and that's kind of why like a lot of players. That's why it feels like a playoff game each game because there's no playoff, so it's all based on record. So you need to win all the games you can.
We need a year where like I'm sure this has happened in your time where like going into the last week like you're playing the team you're tied with and it like is basically a championship game.
Kind of happened last year a little bit. I mean, Chestnut Hill and us, and then they actually beat us, but then they had one more makeup game left and they lost to Penn Charter, which allowed us to share. But a couple years ago in 2021 after COVID, we split with Penn Charter. We both had the top league record. We didn't have a PAISAA that year. We just played it. We actually had an Interact playoff that year. We both had byes. We both won our semifinal game, and we were the higher seeds. We played our place one game, winner take all. So that was actually cool because the two teams that shared the league actually got to settle on the field for the first time.
Yeah, really it feels like, and I think 6 would be perfect because you do want to reward the teams that had the good regular season, you know, like. And I think the single elimination, you know, you kind of have to use all your arms and show who's got like the deepest team there. But all right, so since this is a Delco Baseball platform, we do have to talk about Delco Baseball. And you know, do you guys feel like you have enough Delco on the team to contend this year? How many people are true Delco? I think John was from Glen Mills, right?
Yeah, I think technically where I live is Delaware County, but I'm not really like Delco.
You don't have it in you?
No.
Do you think adding Steve Trainer as a JV coach will bring more Delco to the program?
Definitely.
That dude breathes Delco.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's see. I think I had that question on there. I guess we can talk a little bit about the college recruiting process. So, Tague, you're the only person currently committed. Just talk about how you decided on Louisville, what the process was like, and you know how you ended up choosing it.
Yeah, so I was sophomore year, I believe. So I went down to the Futures Games, the PBR event down in Lake Point, Georgia. Pitched and hit there, and then after that started where the calls started coming in, and then over time, like bounced into the next season, I started to get more comfortable with the options I had on board, and I mean, bottom line, I just my what's the word for it? My end all be all was to pitch and hit in college. Like I wanted two-way there. So Louisville gave me an opportunity to pitch and hit. there, and they were very welcoming. And but my biggest decider was pitching and hitting, and comfortability. Like I like to develop there, and just overall just build relationships and hopefully get to that next level. Overall, yeah. So that's how I decided on Louisville.
Did you get to visit it before you committed?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. How was it? You like the environment, everything down there?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, I'm a big hunter fisher guy. So.
That's what Freddie mentioned when I asked him, like, is he from Delco? He's like, no, he wants to be out hunting and fishing every weekend with his old man.
That's
like,
it.
I love it.
Yeah, but they had everything down there. I mean, fishing and buck season. Late fall, so I won't be playing baseball late fall. So, I mean, yeah, I'm my boat ready.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It sounds like you're gonna be at home there.
Yeah, good fit.
So Andrew, I cover football as well. I know you're a menace in the secondary. Are you gonna try and be a dual sport athlete?
I mean, we'll see. I haven't completely decided anything yet. I don't know about two sports. I'm leaning towards football right now, but I mean, two sports is definitely still a possibility.
Where do you see your future position in college? You like safety?
Yeah.
Because I know in your bio it just says athlete. I'm like, that's a power move. Put me wherever you need, coach. I love it. I love it. All right, so Brady, obviously you're a sophomore, so we don't have to ask about specific schools. I kind of just want to hear about kind of like how you've enjoyed the recruiting process, like going and playing in these travel tournaments. How has it been just mentally and physically, just playing as many games and just, going to play some of the best talent in the area and house?
It's great. Recruiting was like, going into sophomore or freshman year, that summer going to freshman, it's like talking to coaches, talking to a couple coaches, but then at I think end of April they shut it down, so I wasn't allowed to talk to coaches anymore, so I haven't talked to anyone since. And then this summer's probably like the biggest summer, because now I can after this summer I can start to talk to coaches, so I'm just really excited to get to play summer, because two of my teammates from Malvern playing with them, so that should be exciting. So we'll already have a little bit of chemistry there, so should be fun. It's gonna be fun to compete.
What do you play for? Which team?
Play for 5-star with Jackson Malconian and Jack Herbine this summer.
Any other local-ish guys on that team?
No.
I don't think I've heard of 5-star. Where is it? Is there one kind of centralized headquarters, or do you guys just travel all over and play?
I think we're mostly down south for tournaments, but I'm not too sure where exactly, but I think we're in Georgia, a couple tournaments, and we might go to Florida for one, and then maybe North Carolina for one.
That's cool. You really get to get a good kind of grasp on the talent around the area, not just who you see,
right.
In PA, those kids that are playing outdoors all year round because it's 80 and sunny,
right.
All right. Last question I just wanted to ask you guys is, in order for you guys to be able to go back to back, what are some of the keys to success for this season? What do you guys have to do well, and to be able to get back out there?
Yeah, I think one thing that's talked about a lot in this program is just don't let us beat us, and just do what we do, and don't try to do too much. And on paper we're definitely a great team, so we just need to go out there and do what we do. And
I think playing as a team and having high energy, it's probably two of the most important things for us, because just playing as a team, playing together, having each other's back is super important, and then just having a lot of high energy gets the team going and gets you want to win.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to come in. We appreciate it. We wish you the best of luck this season, and I'm sure we'll be out watching you guys play again this year.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Much.
Yep, appreciate it.
All right, we are also being joined here by Malvern head coach Freddy Hilliard. Freddie, thank you for joining the show. Long overdue. It's good to have you on.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate what you guys do.
What number season is this for you at the helm?
So this is not including the 2020 non-season. This will be year 14 as head coach for me.
Did you start as an assistant here, or?
I was 5 years an assistant. Yep.
Did you coach anywhere else before there, or is this your first coaching you started here?
No, I literally just got done playing college baseball, and Malvern called me, see if I had any interest, and I went up, interviewed, and they wanted to offer me an assistant job, and I took it, and then 5 years later I became the head coach. The year after my first spring, which was 2005, a teaching position opened up at the school, and I got hired to teach as well, so I had taught there for about 12 years and then left.
Had you thought about coaching ever before they reached out? Did you know you wanted to stay involved in the game?
Yeah, even as a player, I was kind of one of those guys you would probably describe as a coach on the field. One of my little league coaches always jokes that I knew more about baseball than he did when I was 12. but he taught me how to be tough. But yeah, I always figured I would get into coaching. I didn't know if I would make it this long with it. I think even early in my career, maybe I thought I might pursue the college route coaching, but I think I found my happy place and really enjoy doing what I'm doing.
Nice. How would you describe your coaching style?
Firm but fair, I guess. We're very structured. I think there's a process to everything, so I really try to focus in on that with our guys. But you heard from my guys, like, they know I'm going to hold them accountable. But I'm also going to be the guy that pats them on the back when they're doing things right. Like, it's not always the stickler. So I try to keep a nice balance there. I also want to make sure I develop a lot of connections with my guys so they know me and I know them very well.
Do you think you've always been that way, or has it kind of took you a little to mature into realizing that?
There's always an evolution, I think, with coaching. I mean, you look back at your early days coaching, you cringe at some of the things. But yeah, I think from the start as an assistant, getting a glimpse of being an assistant coach where you kind of are the player's guy, like you're the guy who they can talk to more than the head coach because I don't control the lineup card. The big adjustment for me was when I started becoming the head guy, balancing that out between putting on my head coach hat but also still having that assistant coach feel. And I think over time you just kind of form your own identity. I think with young coaches, we sometimes try to be a coach that we had rather than just be ourselves. So for me, I just try to be as genuine as possible with my guys.
Yeah, I'm sure they appreciate that as well. And before we talk about this upcoming season, I wanted to give you a little chance to talk about the season last year. Those guys talked about it a little bit. Just talk about that whole run, what it meant to get back on top and everything from that year.
Yeah, it meant a lot. Look, last year was kind of an up and down year for us by our standards. We lost some games we felt like we shouldn't have lost. We had a chance to win the Interac outright at home, didn't get it done. We kind of backed into a co-champion, which, we can talk ad nauseum about how we don't appreciate that. But, the sting of seeing our seniors in 2022 leave that field of Villanova and see Haverford School celebrate was a tough way to end it. So getting back to that championship game and getting it done and sending our seniors off, I think we had like 14 seniors last year, sending them off in style was really important and felt good to be back on top because we didn't even, it's very rare for us to have a year where we don't get a dog pile in, and we got to get a dog pile in finally.
Speaking of that senior class, there's a lot of talented players. Talked about a couple from Tim Dickinson, Trey Tiffin, Charlie O'Shell, Cam Markham, among others. What do you have to say about those guys and what they meant to the program, and how you think you're gonna, kind of fill the hole that they left?
Yeah, I mean, every year, the hardest part of my job is saying goodbye to the guys. And every year we always have a stellar senior class, both in ability but also in character. Last year was no different. Replacing Charlie is always going to be tough. I mean, he was a great leader and also a stud on the mound. So, but one of the things we preach to our guys is leave it better than you found it. And I felt like Cam, Jack Stead, Charlie, all those guys took pride in making sure that when they left this place, the guys behind them were prepared, ready, and knew how things went around here. So I think these guys have taken a lot of lessons from them. And this senior class is also a really, really special one. It's been around for, they've had a lot of experience. So, and there's not a lot of them. There's only 7. And I think all 7 are probably going to be significant contributors, which also I think helps from your leadership awesome, when their seniors are playing. So we're excited about them and watching them in the preseason, and them kind of setting the tone has been really, really enjoyable for me as a coach because it's taken a little bit of off my plate with the culture.
So what do you like from what you've seen from the guys in the couple of scrimmages you've had so far?
Our pitching's been strong. The boys referenced it. I mean, on paper, we have a lot of talent. I mean, we're not going to shy away from that. We have a lot of guys that can play. We can run. We're very dynamic. But in these scrimmages so far, we've played clean defense. We've pitched it well. Big thing for us is limiting strikeouts right now. We're striking out a little bit too much, but a little bit to be expected. But also, we're too talented to be striking out that much. But it's a process. I think the big lesson today with the inter squad was we're running out of dress rehearsals, and it's going to start counting. So we still got to tighten it up and get going, and we play a long schedule, so there's going to be some ruts. But if we can fight through those and stay focused, I think we'll be okay.
How many games are on the schedule?
Probably right around 40. We're going to play 8 in Florida alone, and then we get back and probably have another 30 to go when we get home.
preparing them for college. That's for sure.
That's the idea.
Yeah, I mean, it was humbling when I went, my year at Strathaven, I think we played 25 maybe. Then you go to my first year at Penn State Brandywine, I think we played 45. And it's just like your body, like you don't realize how many games you're playing until you get there.
Yeah, it's kind of silly. I mean, that's the big thing, my big gripe with the PIAA. Like, you're not preparing these kids for college. And also, I played in the Central League as yourself. You really need 2 good arms. That's it. Like we need to use 8-9 pitchers in a season, and I think that's good for the experience, and it's also good for getting the kids accountable to their how many at bats they're going to have. Big thing for us is our backups will probably have as many plate appearances as some starters at public schools do. So that keeps things a little bit more lively for us.
Yeah.
We asked the players as well, what do you think you guys need to do to repeat as state champions?
I think we just got to, they kind of said it too. We got to be us. If we throw strikes and we defend the way we should and we swing the bats we should, we're very, very difficult to beat. If we look back, we went over some of our losses from last year, and I think we had 6 losses, and I think 4 of them were games that we just gift wrapped for the other team. I felt like we got beat twice, which I'm always okay with. If the other team outplays us, they outplay us. But I think for us to be successful, we always get everyone's best their best chance. So that we're the bullseye. So they're always coming at us hard, and it means a lot to them. So our guys have to stay focused to play their best every time out. We have a big saying: the best team never wins; the team that plays the best does. So for us, don't look at it as, we have this guy, we have this guy, we have this guy. Like we should just beat these guys. Like they're not showing up to just give us a win. They're gonna compete. So we got to play our game, and I think if we do that, we'll be very difficult to beat, but it's easier said than done.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be something as a coach you have to repeatedly instill, like with all the success, like you can't just sleepwalk through a season because, we have the best talent, we won last year, like trying to hammer it down, like this team hasn't done anything yet.
Correct. Yeah, I think that's part of our culture of, and you're right, you have to constantly, stay on them about that because, they'll rattle off 8-9 wins in a row and maybe start smelling themselves a little bit, and they got to stay with the idea of, hey, what got us to that point? How, focus on our process. If we keep doing what we do, we're going to keep winning. But if you think that we're just going to show up and take me at bats and, throw the balls out and that we're going to win the game, you're going to get beat. So we just kind of have to keep harping on it. And I think we have the leaders that understand that too. All
right, so obviously you're the head coach of the squad, but tell us a little bit about the rest of the coaching staff and who makes up, this team.
Yeah, look, I'm very blessed. I have an amazing support staff. I always say if I were to get hit by the bread truck today, the program wouldn't miss a beat. So Kenny Elkine is my right-hand man, another Delco guy, Ridley.
He works at EL1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Kenny is, like, I call him my Swiss Army knife because he can coach everything. He's really good with our players. He's really good with coaching our hitters. Throws the best BP you'll ever see. But he works with our outfielders. Former player, played at LaSalle and then ended up transferring to San Angelo State, which is a Division II powerhouse. I think he pitched a little bit independent ball as well. So he's great. I can't say enough about him. Alex Melkonian, played at Seton Hall, played the Marlins, Florida Marlins at that point in the minor leagues for them. Just a ball of energy. Like the guy is he's go all the time. Brings a lot of humor to practice as well. But he also gets on our guys when they need to be get on. Tom Nagy's been with me since the jump, since 2010. And Tom's reliable as they come. He's an alum. So like he really develops big time relationships with these guys. Like he stays in touch with all of our college guys, and the kids feel comfortable texting him, calling him. And he gets a mean fungo and works out our infielders. And then Joe Moore, he stepped in some big shoes. EJ Moore was with me from the get go. He was with Malvern before I got there, and now I'm going to see him again this year on Episcopal side.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So EJ's going to Episcopal with Tommy. But Joe came in after the success that EJ had, and I felt like it couldn't have been a better hire. He's great with our pitchers. He's got a knowledge base that's like unmatched. He's got a way of relating to these guys, and he's phenomenal. And then on the JV level, we lost Chase Miller to the Seattle Mariners organization, and Dana Forsberg, who's now running the EL1 facility. So Stevie Trainer came on.
More Delco.
Yeah, we're excited to have Steve. I mean, I think he's pumped to be here.
If you want a ball of energy, he's a ball of energy.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, and I mean, he's hit the ground running with our JV program, and we practice together, so he's learning a lot from how we do things, and he's doing a great job of kind of instilling that with the younger guys. And then Brett Clark, who was a star pitcher at Stony Brook University. I think he used to work with Joe Moore as well, get lessons from Joe. So they're on the same page from our pitching in terms of development there. So, like I said, we tell our kids it's basically a college staff in high school, and I'm very lucky to have all these guys.
So we talked about it when we had our guy Mike Rooney on the show. That was probably around a year ago. It was over Zoom, and we were just talking about kind of like the whole Malvern brand as a whole. So what's it like being a part of this, almost like a community where you get to follow all these guys playing the college and the minors and the pros, and just being a part of this in general?
It's overwhelming, to be honest with you. It's great. I mean, obviously it's fantastic, but yeah, it's overwhelming. Like for me, like I say it every year at the end of the year, like guys, like I'm your coach for life. Reach out to me with whatever you need, but there's so many former players that it's like I don't have the time to text every single one of them or call every single one of them. Like I almost like rely on them to reach out to me when you need me. But the pipeline that it's been from Mike Rooney. Mike Rooney coached my brother at Malvern with Tague's dad. My brother went to Malvern, was 95 with Ben. So I know Mike was part of the reason I got started coaching there, because I think he was the one who called the school and said, hey, you probably should interview this guy. So I owe my job coaching there to Mike and maybe my brother a little bit. But yeah, it's really cool. I mean, seeing Chris Newell and seeing Lonnie, Billy Corcoran, Jimmy Kingsbury, Shane Muntz, like all the guys that have gone on to the next level and are trying to get to the big leagues, but also seeing all of our guys go on to college and star there and do really good things. We had our fundraiser a couple weeks ago, and seeing former players show up to that, it makes me feel old, because like they're getting married, they're having kids, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like
you were just 18, like two years ago.
Like I'll make the mistake, like, what year are you in college? Like, coach, I'm 28. I'm like, oh, sorry,
my bad.
Yeah,
that's awesome. We had talked with Mike just about, a lot of it was about like college baseball, but a lot of it was about just like this area. So when we say Delco baseball, what does that mean to you?
Toughness, man. Toughness. Delco baseball. I loved it. I loved growing up in Delaware County. It's the saddest part for me is seeing Upper Darby Little League no longer really exist, because we had some really good teams and really good players come through there, and that turned into UDHL, which had some really good teams and players going. We went to World Series and such. But yeah, Delaware County baseball to me is just like dirty, like get down, like work hard, diving for balls, maybe a little bit of chirping here and there, but guys just kind of, it's almost like football but on a diamond.
We were at the Pencrest Radnor game.
There was definitely some chirping.
Oh, they were chirping the fans. The players were chirping the fans were chirping the players. It was awesome, and I'm like, that's the stuff that you won't see on Game Changer. I was still at Penn State last spring. It's like I can see a box score, but like that doesn't tell the story of what happened in a game.
It's like what they say, SEC football, it just means more.
It means more. Yeah, Delco baseball. Would we get sued if we had it just means more T-shirt on?
I think it's worth the risk.
Yeah. Hey, listen, that's good publicity getting sued by the SEC.
There you go.
I will say that for sure. Yeah. All right. Well, we appreciate you taking the time to come in today. We wish you the best of luck this season. We're excited to see you guys out there, and we're just excited for the Interact. I haven't really seen. You were at an EA and which game last year?
I went to an EA and Penn Charter game last year.
That's right.
I think. But that was the only one, I think.
I don't think I've ever been to just an Interact versus Interact game.
It's intense. Yeah. It's intense. It's like playing. I was fortunate enough to play Division I baseball. It's like playing a Division I baseball game. I mean, the talent and just like we referenced, you only played 10 games, best record wins. So you can't have a bad day because you take an L and it's going to cost you. But yeah, it's every pitch you're kind of hanging on every pitch. It's like a Game 7 mentality, and the players in it are just. It's overwhelming at times, but it's fun. It's good for the kids. It's a good challenge for all of us. Coaches have a lot of respect for each other. The players all have a lot of respect for each other. But it's a grind of a season with the Interact. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Well, not to spoil anything, we are doing games of the week this year, so I'm sure we'll be seeing you guys out there. But thanks for coming to the studio.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate it. I'm sure this won't be the last time we have you in, but thank you.
No, thanks. Appreciate all you guys do.
Thank you. All right, thank you to our Malvern Prep guys for coming on the show. I really appreciate them taking the time to do that. It was good to talk to a couple Delco guys in the crew here,
sure.
But just to hear about the program that they have, the culture that they've built there, and it's no secret the amount of success that they have on a consistent basis with the preparation that they all put in, with the the brand that they've built up. That it's cool to see how every year they kind of have that target on their back and they embrace it. And championship hangovers don't really seem to be too much of an issue there because of the way that they instill on their players to never be satisfied.
Yeah, there's I think getting kind of what I got from it. They really prepare like a high level college team does. They seem very ready for everything.
And they prepare you for college, which is good.
Yeah.
So when those guys get to school, they kind of know what to expect. So best of luck to them this season. We'll be seeing them on plenty of Interact games with our Haverford and EA guys, so we look forward to that. Let's move into a little bit of college baseball here. So we'll talk a little bit about some players from around the area. So this is being recorded on Saturday, so we kind of have to talk about the week before, just for the sake of time. So we'll start out with our Mathis brothers. So we started off, I'm just kind of going off the slideshow that we had here. So Owen Mathis, Penn State Club Baseball. He was 8 for 13 last week. I don't have the numbers in front of me on what that adds up to, but he had a double. He had a couple RBIs for the club team, and they're dealing with a bit of a championship hangover. But their conference, hey, listen, they're 3-0 in the conference, and next week we'll be getting the rings from last year, and they'll be playing Chris Chung and Pitt.
Hey,
so
let's go.
little Delco on both sides there. Alden had a big week as well. 7 for 15. He had I think 403-foot homer in one of their matchups. I forget who it was against, to be honest, but he also had some great diving catches in the outfield as well.
Oh yeah, I liked on the graph just
sick diving catches.
Sick diving catches.
Yeah. Hey, well, the picture also has him diving as well.
Sabermetric stat of the week.
It is. Brian Henry in his first college start. He's a Bonner alum. He's at Misericordia. 9 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts. Your first college start, you're going all 9. That's dirty.
Yeah, that is I don't know how to put this better. Just kind of let his nuts hang there.
Yeah, and listen, this is this is a PG-13 podcast.
Yeah, they went out and balled out, man. That's awesome to see. He had a pretty solid year at Bonner and kind of going. I didn't know he was 6'7" also. It was checking.
I stood next to him before the Roman game. I'm looking up. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Nice to meet
looks
you.
like a lot like my coach at E-Town freshman year.
Like a linebacker.
Height,
he's playing the wrong sport. Yeah.
I think that's a build for a pitcher there. He was chucking. That's awesome for him.
Yeah.
I hope he kind of keeps going in this year.
All right, we got Darren Hagan. He's a Garnet Valley guy. He's at Keystone College, and the only thing better than 1 grand slam is hitting a second grand slam in back-to-back games. He hit 2 grand slams in, I don't believe it was 2 days, but I think it was across 2 games. Was 4 for 7 last week. 1 grand slam. He had 5 RBIs. I have 1 grand slam in my life, and this dude's doing it twice in a week.
Yeah, that's it's just awesome to see him tear it up. He's such a good dude, and I know he dealt with a lot. I think we talked about he dealt with a lot of injury stuff, but just to see him out there and tearing it up especially for a team that's going to be really competitive in D3 nationally, it's really awesome to see.
Yeah, it's the ultimate everybody finds their home. He was at a D1 school, Coppin State, for 2 years, but now he's down at Keystone, and I wouldn't say getting more opportunities, but maybe just more more comfort, I guess it could be, and a change of environment can do so much for somebody.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, next up on the list here, we got Garrett Friend. He's a Narberth outsider in the Delco League. He's at Eastern. 6 for 7 at the plate. Sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, you got to take that every time. He had a couple doubles, too.
He did, yeah. 2 doubles. He's a Harridan alum and had 2 RBIs in that big Eastern Cabrini game. I know that's a rival and I guess maybe the last Eastern Cabrini game?
Yeah, that was, so I think I was, I'm friends with one of the Cabrini assistant coaches. Shout out my guy Murph, but he was saying that was the first time Easterns beat them, or that might be the second time Easterns ever beaten them. It was something it's a very rare win for them. So that's for him being one of the driving forces there, it's pretty awesome to
go
see.
out on top.
Yeah,
we'll see this summer on the field, Garrett. Jack O'Reilly, he's an Episcopal alum. He is at Villanova now. 6 for 17 at the plate with a homer. Knocked in 5 last week. He's got 3 homers in 13 games there.
That's a really hot start for them. Especially kind of at the D1 level. You don't see a ton of guys hitting a ton of home runs, but that's Oh, it's a really good start. It's exciting to see.
Yeah, and wonderful to see him back in the Delco League because I think he's a senior this year. I'm not positive, but I think he is.
Yeah, he might. Well, he was a Black Sox, wasn't he?
He was a big. I just remember that summer he would wear the gold Notre Dame helmet, and you could see it from a mile away.
See that thing from space.
He's a grad student, so
okay.
it could be next year if it's a 2-year program. I don't know. I also want to give a quick shout out to my guy Luke Mutz from Villanova. He's been dealing with some major shoulder issues, and hopefully he'll. I know he's been pinch running a little bit. He's been able to get back on the field and help in some way. So hopefully we get him back for the Delco League season and for the end of his college career.
For sure.
Speaking of Narberth outsiders, we got Casey Murphy. He's a Lower Merion alum. He is pitching for the recently started Holy Family program, their D2 program that kind of just got going. 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run in that performance for him. 3 starts, 1.47 ERA. Ben, I'm not the pitching guy of the podcast, but even I know that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's going to work. That's definitely going to work. And that's been Holy Family look like they've had a decent start to their inaugural season. I think there was a winning record. They were down south somewhere last I checked, but that's great. That's awesome to see.
It's good to have another local D2 like outside of the PSAC school.
Yeah,
kind of like a Chestnut Hill.
They're in the same one as like Wilmington, Goldie Beacon, all that, right?
Next, we got Icon Jones. He's Sun Valley. We'll have Sun Valley on in our next episode. A little bit of spoiler there. Yep. 7 for 14 at the plate, 2 stolen bases, and he's hitting 409 in his first season so far as a freshman. That sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, that's again gonna work.
That's valid.
It's hard to get reps as a freshman in college anywhere, especially a PSAC school. So hopefully he keeps kind of grinding that out, keeps the average where it is, and gets a lot of playing time.
Him and Mike Valente represent Delco for the boys. We also have Roman Tazi. So we saw Nico Tazi playing for Pencrest. Roman across 2 starts, 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run. He also had a save in one of those performances as well. And another guy who started at a level higher. He started at Division II Barton, but now he's down at Catholic with our other guy, Sammy Berman. His best friend, Sammy Berman, playing together. He's a Carroll alum, and I'm curious because I know he was trying to be a 2-way guy, so obviously he's getting time on the mound.
I think last I saw he was mostly out of the bullpen for them.
Okay, yeah, because I know. I mean, he was a decent hitter back.
Yeah, he could swing it
in the Delco League. It looks like I don't think he has any at bats yet. So, but he's got a 1.29 ERA, so that'll play.
Yeah. It seems from what we've seen, it seems like he's really selling into that Catholic bullpen, and having played against them for years, that's always a really deep pitching staff. So any way you can kind of find your way in there.
All right, I want to let you talk about this Elizabethtown Blue Jay.
Yeah, we got my guy Quinn Perilli. I forget the stats exactly. There we go. So 10 for 28 at the plate down in Florida, 9 RBIs, 3 shutout innings and a save, and then coming back this week against Lebanon Valley, had another huge game. Saw him rip a triple. I was watching the live stream a little bit at work. I'm sorry about that, but
I won't tell your boss.
Yeah. But ripped a triple. I think he went 3 for 5 overall, and then again had another 3-inning just shutdown save. He's doing everything for them right now. It's really cool.
The Shohei Ohtani of the Landmark Conference
might be.
I mean, we weren't really covering high school baseball yet, but did he pitch a lot for Pencrest? Because
I don't remember. I know he threw a little. He threw a little bit for Aston Valley in that summer, and I think going up there, I knew he was going to pitch a little bit. It looks like he's going to be one of the main guys out of the bullpen for them this year.
What positions do you usually play?
He's been all over the place. I think he was like outfield a little bit. I think he's played first base a bunch, DH.
Wherever the team needs.
Yeah, like corner, outfield, first base, DH, and then pitching, obviously.
I wonder if he'll be back in Delco League this summer, if he'll get an opportunity to play somewhere else.
I'd imagine he goes somewhere else. He was somewhere else last year.
Yeah. All right, last thing we'll talk about here, we had a Delco and Delco College matchup, which could be the last Penn State Brandywine Cabrini matchup. Brandywine won that one 6-3 on Friday night. That was a Maple Zone game. Let me pull up a little bit about that matchup here. I had the box score. I just totally forgot to put that one in here, but I mean that's a big win for them, for a team that's going to be Division III next year, to get some wins against these like other Division III teams, as opposed to like some of the other smaller teams. They beat Moravian as well,
really,
which is another D3 school. I believe Connor Thompson. Yeah, so Connor Thompson pitched 6 innings, that only 3 runs allowed. Ty, I'm going to guess Kachia, little 3-inning save.
Okay.
I'd like to see that. We have any good Sammy Benz, a little 2 for 4 and a double.
He's been having a year, hasn't he?
Ryan Snyder, 2 for 5, Sun Valley.
Nice.
Sammy Benz was Carroll. think Sean Webb was also, he's Bonner. So we got some good Delco reps here.
It is so cool to see how much the Delco contribution there is on that Brandywine team.
Yeah.
It's gonna be even better once they get into a D3, kind of get into that's still like real college.
Well, it'll help with recruiting.
For sure.
Yeah. Because a lot of the good Delco teams, we love them, but they don't really have, like, Swarthmore has, like, 2 Delco guys. Newman has 2.
Wagner's got a
couple, but nowhere near like this. But, that's...
no one around here really recruits the area heavy like Brandywine does. You gotta respect them for that. It's awesome.
All right, well, that is all we have for you on the program today. We appreciate you all tuning in. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Give us a follow on all social media. Shout out producer Rob for hooking us up as always. And we got another good slate of games coming up this weekend. So after those games happen, you'll hear from us our opinions next week. Actually,
stay tuned for some good ones.
Well, actually, we're not next Saturday, are we? Programming note here.
Oh yeah.
We have a midweek recording because I'll be up in State College. But that's actually probably for the best because all the conference games will kind of get going like after that. So I would say we'll have another episode dropping later in the week. This week, and then after that, we'll take a bit to come back.
Yeah, that's next week. Next weekend, we'll have some good rankings coming out.
That is true.
We're gonna keep everything as is for now. Once the end of next week, we'll have a new. Well, hopefully. Well, I'm not hopefully, but most likely a new top 9. We'll
still have content. Might just not be in the studio. But as always, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.